Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to PWR today for July 7th, Wednesday, 2021. The man they call Meathead. And filling in for the, is he vacationing? Is he on assignment? I don't know what we're doing with Matthew Thomas, but hey, we didn't think we were getting another Linda K day, but we did. It's Linda K. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning, Meathead. I like that ring, Linda K. Day. Never heard it in that context.
Oh, you know what?
It's like Rusev Day, but Linda
Yeah.
K. Day.
Would you like it sung? Now, I feel weird because I sing mostly to Matthew and the listeners, but Linda, I don't think I've ever sung to you before. It's Linda K. Day. Yeah.
Nice. So does this mean July 7th of every year is Linda K. Day, or does that mean Wednesday morning, or?
I think it's any Wednesday morning that Linda K shows up. That makes it special, but not like we're, waiting another year for it.
I like it.
Okay? All right.
Yes.
So any Wednesday that Linda K is on the air, it's Linda K Day. You got to put the little jazz hands in there at the end.
Yeah.
All right. So now that we've embarrassed myself, or I've embarrassed myself, hey, who's our sponsor today?
Our sponsor, the wonderful Collar and Elbow, where you can find the latest and greatest in wrestling street fashions, the most comfortable clothing, the most fly clothing. I love what's on the site right now. It's collarandelbowbrand.com. Make sure to use promo code Linda K. That's LINDAKAY to save yourself 10% off. Not to be confused with Linda K. Day. Just Linda K.
Well, I mean, anytime you're getting 10% off it, I mean, it's hypothetically a Linda K Day, isn't it?
Right.
All right. And it sounds like that voice is recovered too, even though you got a big show coming up this weekend. You had the cold a little bit, you had all the big shows that you did. It sounds like you finally recovered.
Yeah. I mean, I spent a couple more days in Louisville last week, but I do sound better now that you mention it. It's not quite as raspy, but sometimes there was a little too much where I sounded like I've had no sleep, or I was having too many drinks. Well, I mean,
if you were heading to Brooklyn, there'd be no sleep anyway. So
that's true.
All right. Let's talk first to kind of change the tempo here. We like to have some yucks. We like to have some laughs here. But this story is of no laughing matter. We have to lead with the big one. Jimmy Uso, who's been featured on SmackDown prominently in the main event program on there, having come back from a year-long absence due to injury, has been pulled over for DUI again. This is his second in 2 years, and I got to be honest with you. Jimmy, you got to get some help, buddy. I don't know if it's a decision. I don't know if it's you're in the right place, wrong time. I don't know what it is, but Jimmy, I happen to know a person. Linda, you've interacted with this person. I happen to know a person that's had multiple DUIs, and it's going to get to a point, regardless if you're an Uso or if you're a Dolly, it's going to get to a point where you're going to be behind the bars. You're going to be in the Uso penitentiary for life. Somebody, please reach out to Jimmy and give him a hand.
Yeah, I was very surprised to see that headline. And, you mentioned the extent of everything, given his huge storyline, main event storyline with his cousin Roman Reigns. Yeah, it's, disappointing to find out. And, considering the Go Home SmackDown show about to take place, who knows what role he would have had in this week's episode. I mean, I don't believe I think I did read he's not behind bars currently. I'm not sure what the law full extent is in Florida regarding DUIs, but right. I mean, who knows? Maybe there could have been more in the works for him, not just for this Friday, but possibly further down the line. It could have been affected, maybe not, but maybe so.
This is a new deal too, because let's be completely honest here. This isn't WWE from 2019. This isn't where the boys are, doing a live house show on Sunday, doing a Monday taping, a Tuesday taping, and then driving to the next town on Wednesday. They're still located in Tampa. I don't know where Jimmy's staying currently while he's working at the Thunderdome, but they're not going cross country. Dude, he works at Yuengling Center, and then he goes home for the day, or goes to wherever he's staying, the hotel that they rented out, the Airbnb, whatever it is. So now I have another question. WWE has a very big, major storyline going on with the Usos and the family and Roman Reigns. Hypothetically, do you think that they reach out to another Us to maybe take his place?
Ooh. You know, I
Now,
still
we don't
feel
know the contractual situations between a couple of other Usos that we're talking about.
right.
But, with Jay being gone for a bit, I don't know if it's due to injury or what the story is. Do they reach out to a couple more of the boys?
I mean, perhaps. I mean, we know of Sepha Fatu. We know
Jacob?
Jacob Fatu.
Hmm?
Who also obviously the two of them are blowing it up in the wrestling world as well. Gosh, who's to know what could come about with this? I mean, again, I don't know how long Jay Uso will be out or
Right.
to what reasoning, but again, it could change everything due to the real life occurrences. But again, maybe it's just kind of a warning. It's kind of like when they have their wellness policy. I don't know again how
Right.
detailed it
And we're
is,
not
but I
privy to
believe
any of that information at
right.
all.
I
Who's
believe there's somewhat like maybe a 3 strike and you're not necessarily out, but penalized heavily rule. Not sure,
I
but
mean, it's possible that Jimmy could be on TV Friday night, for all we know.
yeah. I mean, I
Okay.
would think so, given how SmackDown ended last week and his role in the current.
And I mean, let's play devil's advocate on the other side. It is quite possible with WWE being very quick on the fire trigger, it'd be possible that Jimmy's out.
Mm. I don't know. I mean, maybe if he was still sidelined.
This isn't a first time offense.
I know.
And what would it say to America? What would it say to the talent? What would it say to corporate America if they understood for the first time, put him on the sideline, then brought him back finally, and said, "You know what? We understand you got your second one, but you know what? Keep on working." What does that say?
Yeah. I guess we just. I mean, we won't know. I mean, if he
It's
is
all going to be
on,
laid out for to us to, they're all going to lay it out to play it out. I mean, we're going to see what happens.
right. And again, this is a huge go home Thunderdome SmackDown show before they hit the road again next week, right before Money in the
Right?
Bank. Gosh, I mean, it's just going to be hard to really
I mean, I guess
predict
it
right
would be
now
good.
until we see what happens if he is on TV, or if he is, we don't know what may have been changed due to
Right.
what happened.
Well, let's talk about positively. If he's allowed to continue working, if he's kept in the story, if things are kept the way they are, maybe it's a good story that he's kept in the company and on the road because somebody could drive for him. I mean, maybe it's his brother, maybe it's Roman, maybe it's somebody else driving for him, but that'll take the keys out of his hand.
Well, him and Naomi still married?
I would assume so.
Maybe she can be his, driver.
But will Raw and SmackDown
right all the
travel
time.
separately?
Well, if there's a draft soon. I thought they
Right.
would really separate the spouses, but then
We
again,
talked
what do
about
we
that
know?
yesterday.
What do we know?
We talked about that yesterday. So
Yeah.
who's to say? I mean, honestly, big news coming out of WWE land, and we're gonna have to wait and see what else happens with the ongoing story of Jimmy Uso. Like I said, I wouldn't have a problem seeing maybe Sepha or Jacob show up. We've seen them perform; they're amazing. So it's not like they can't go. Maybe Rikishi comes by, says something. Who knows?
Yeah.
Let's transition into NXT from last night, the Great American Bash. There's a story out there, a real quick snip from Cody Rhodes. Now, for those that don't know or do know but haven't really kind of thought of it, the Great American Bash was created by Dusty Rhodes. All right, WWE owns the Great American Bash name and its likeness, and the Dusty Rhodes likeness as well. Cody has been quoted as saying, "Look, you know what? As long as they treat the event with respect and the Cody or the Dusty stuff with respect, he has no problems with it at all." So NXT's Great American Bash happened last night. And, to be honest, this is a good thing because, if he doesn't have all of Dusty's stuff, that means he has to come up with his own stuff, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah, especially running AEW for him to come up with something different, something without the Rhodes name linked to it. I mean, his own.
He's finally gotten his name back. That happened about a year ago.
Yeah, that's true. So I meant to say the Rhodes name linked to it, but Cody Rhodes versus Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah. Here's another thing that excuse me, that came out during NXT last night, the Great American Bash. They announced the competitors for the 2021 NXT Breakout Tournament. These are all up-and-coming names. Maybe they've wrestled somewhere else that in your local area you know of these gentlemen, but Carmelo Hayes, Andre Chase, Trey Baxter, Duke Hudson, Josh Briggs, Joe Gacy, Ikemen Hiro, and Odyssey Jones. Odyssey Jones is a big boy. Did you see him?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was really cool how they got to have their own intros and their stats already posted for us to get a little more familiar with them. Good for those guys. I mean, just to be involved in this tournament, but getting that extra push, if you will, before the tournament actually starts. Yeah.
Let's talk about Great American Bash from last night. It started off with the tag team championships on the line. MSK going head-to-head with Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher, otherwise known as Toothless Timmy and Grandpa Ciampa. What a great name they have. And again, I don't know if he's doing this on purpose or if it's just, subconsciously, but Ciampa still rocking Brewers colors.
Yeah.
I don't know if that, like I said, I don't know if it's on purpose, but those are Milwaukee Brewer colors right there.
Great to see. I know we didn't get the from Milwaukee, Wisconsin intro.
No, I pop for that every time.
Due to that in-ring championship intro, but what an outing from Toothless Timmy and Grandpa Ciampa. I was always a Tommaso Ciampa fan. We had him in studio for PWR.
That was before the beard, right?
I believe so. I have a picture somewhere with him, but I just remember discussing with him or we were asking, I think maybe it was during the interview, about his favorite restaurant, and he mentioned a fried chicken spot or something like that, and I was like, oh, I know exactly where you mean. Anyways, I have been a fan of Ciampa. I had him on Team Long Time last year for the PWR Fantasy Draft as well. Yep. I love the pairing of him and Timothy Thatcher. I do feel that they will continue being the strong tag team and keep getting better and better. I think they're doing a nice job of perhaps putting over some of the younger guys, or just, eventually getting that shot. They're giving us that want, that need, that they'll eventually get the gold. I hope so.
I think it'll happen. It should come at some point. I think they're a really solid team. However, they were beaten on a roll-up. The winners and still champions, MSK. Solid match. I mean, that's the kind of match you want to open with, especially if it's a pay-per-view type NXT show for a Tuesday night. That's the kind of match you want to open up with. Promo for the $1 million title match, where if LA Knight loses, he loses his $1 million championship. If Cameron Grimes loses, he has to be LA Knight's butler. Such a corny stipulation, but it's probably going to be funny. The battery charged up to 91%. We get the feeling that it's going to happen, obviously, during Great American Bash. Side in-ring promo, William Regal, Samoa Joe, Karrion Kross, the champion from NXT, and the now number one contender challenger, Johnny Gargano. Karrion Kross said something very interesting to me. He said, look, I wake up and I have three things on my mind every morning. I wake up never losing the NXT championship. I wake up wanting to main event WrestleMania. And then finally, I want to be WWE champion. Are they setting us up for Kross leaving the black and gold brand?
I didn't think about that when he said it, but I hope not. I mean, he hasn't been champion with NXT too long. I mean,
no, and he's had 2 reigns.
The injury, right? But we still haven't really gotten to know Karrion Kross, at least in the NXT world. I mean, obviously he's been over the indie scene and very well known, and a strong veteran in the game. He's been wrestling for a very long time, so a lot of us know of him, and perhaps some of his past work, but we need to get to know him a little bit more on NXT. And I know you and Matthew have touched on this before, but is he a heel? Is he a face? He comes off as a
he's a killer cross is what he is.
Yes, exactly. But sometimes he comes off as a face, or I wouldn't want to say a funny haha, but I get confused sometimes when him and Scarlett, they have, this awesome, dark, evil intro. My favorite, by the way. And I love Karrion Kross himself and Scarlett, but I just sometimes I'm not. It seems like it flip flops a bit, and then especially in that promo last night with Gargano, who is pretty much a strong heel, even though he's funny. But
he's
it
a
came
yuck
off
it up
as him
ha heel.
Yeah, it almost came off he was the face, and then with the crowd almost behind Gargano more, I was even more confused. But go back to your point about the hint, if you'd be called up to one of the main rosters, I think definitely eventually. I don't want it to happen anytime soon. We still got to establish more of who Karrion Kross is in NXT.
I think so too. I agree 100%. Real quick, the match is set for next week. It'll be Gargano, Johnny Wrestling, taking on Karrion Kross. Special guest referee, the Enforcer, Samoa Joe. As long as he is not provoked, Joe will not get in the way.
Joe.
That's right. Joe is gonna kill you. The $1 million title match, Cameron Grimes and LA Knight. Yeah. Here's the thing. These are, and you've heard Matthew and I talk about it. You and I have talked about it. Everybody's heard us talking about it. These are my two top NXT talents right now. I mean, to have them in matches together is great, but I want Cameron Grimes to have the $1 million championship, not LA Knight. Yeah. However, LA Knight wins, retains, and LA Knight with the best comedy, chuck him up, laugh him up. So at the end, he goes, "I hope you brought your plunger. You better have your cleaning supplies because I got work for you to do." That's funny to me. I can't wait to see what happens next.
Yeah. Darn it. Kiss my grits. Like, I can't say it like
to the moon.
But
do you know that Kiss My Grits woman is still alive?
Oh.
Flo from Alice. She's still alive. She's got to be in her 90s, but she is still alive. Just had a birthday recently.
Oh. There you go. Fun fact for the day. For Linda K Day, that is.
Linda K. Yeah.
But no, I mean, this match could have gone either way. I thought the finishes toward the end, or the lead up toward the finish, were pretty brutal. Some of those falls that Cameron Grimes were taking, and then the very end, LA Knight.
Great finish.
Yeah.
What he did was he hid that belt down on the ground and then dropped him for a DDT on the belt and scooted the belt under the ring. That was fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, I anticipate some funny shenanigans to ensue from this whole stipulation. I anticipate Cameron Grimes having a special butler uniform suited.
Oh, absolutely.
Exclusively for him with that touch.
Absolutely. They could take this for about a month if they had to, with vignettes for 4 weeks. They really could.
Is he like a different version of Virgil?
Maybe. I don't want to disappoint Matthew Thomas, but maybe he is the new Virgil.
Yeah. I mean, we still have hope and faith that perhaps the Virgil will make this appearance. I mean, this is Matthew Thomas's dream.
That's right. All right. The Women's Tag Team Championships are on the line. Io Shirai and Zoe Stark, the challengers, taking on Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, the champions. The battery charged in the middle of the match, and when it was done charging, it is Tegan Nox. Your thought on Tegan Nox being the person with the battery charging?
That was a great way for her to come back. It was teased. I didn't think it was Tegan, and lo and behold, there she was. And you can kind of guess at that point she would inadvertently interfere, or maybe
distract.
Inadvertently interfere. She wasn't necessarily interfering, but definitely was a distraction for Candice LeRae, and boom, we have a new tag champs once again. The women tag
Zoe Stark has got a look about her.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I thought of Zoe Stark. Io Shirai, I mean, Matthew and I had talked about this as well, is, you know what, Io Shirai, this is something else for her to do. Stay away from the women's title. Now you're a tag champ.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back. But Zoe Stark, she's got a thing about her. So I have some points I'd like to make about the battery charging Tegan Nox thing.
Okay.
This is not against Tegan Nox. This is not against NXT, but I feel let down. I thought it was going to be something bigger. Again, this is not a slight on Tegan Nox. I'm happy to see her back. I liked her. You know, they said that she's back to 100%. That's the whole point of the battery charging, right? She was limping on the stage, and then she chased after Candice LeRae with no limp. She looked like, I mean, if that's her look with the baggy flannel, and it just didn't work. There was something not right there.
I see where you're getting at. Yeah, I guess with her big return, I feel maybe they could have given her a different look, something a little more bright, something more pop,
a little more flash, a little more pop,
yeah,
a little more snap, a little more crackle.
Yes. Yeah, because even before, I mean, what stood out for me for her was when she would get, come into the ring and tap the turnbuckle. She had the thing that she did, her little movement.
Yeah. I like Tegan Nox. I'm excited she's back.
Yeah.
This kind of fell flat for me. But I'm glad she's back. And now we know who the battery is for.
Yes.
All right. So new champions, Io Shirai and Zoe Stark, the women's champions. Your thoughts on Hit Row? I'm a big fan of Hit Row. I think I'm showing my age here when I say we didn't need that.
Last night?
Yep.
I was gonna say I loved
it. I liked them doing stuff, but honestly, mumble rap in a bunch of hot noise didn't work for me.
Well, it was their special cipher, right?
I know, and AJ Francis, Top Dollar, looked like he was doing his. What is her name? B-Fab. Brianna Brandy. She looked like she was rapping to a track, or there might have been some lip sync in there.
I think there was some backtracking for like the chorus where they say Hit Row, but
the backtracking is fine. The Hit Row, we expect that, right? It's not like you gotta backup singers there. We expect that. Yeah. Something was off about it as well. Again, please do not misunderstand. I love Hit Row, and I absolutely love Swerve Scott. Dude, this guy is a star. This whole angle is a star. And it's going to make all four of them stars. Even Ashanti, the Adonis looked good as the DJ, but it sounded like noise to me. They were talking over the top of each other.
Some parts of it, they were, like chiming in their parts in the song. But
I understand what a hype man is as well. Yeah. I get it.
Well, to put the script on the whole performance and B-Fab,
I'm poking at it.
Say I absolutely loved her. I thought she was the standout in that whole piece. I loved her rap. I loved just her aura, her movement.
No, yeah, she's a star too.
Yeah. And I know that's not, you've said all that too, but I guess, I just enjoyed hearing the, original lyrics and the rap and their performance, because we still have yet to, have seen what they can do with the exception of Isaiah Swerve Scott.
We've seen AJ Francis wrestle in a tag match.
Yeah. But just on a higher level, meaning a little bit more action. We haven't seen them in the ring too much. It's focused more on getting them over, which I think they are. I love them.
I think they were very over.
But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. And yeah, Swerve Scott.
Like I said, Linda, go ahead and tell me if I am, but I'm sounding like an old man. It sounded like mumble rap to me.
But you know what? I was going to mention to you that sometimes when we get the music performances, whether it be at WrestleMania or Raw, NXT, sometimes they don't go so well. I was going to say, I thought this one was, dare I say, Hit Row.
I want to see more of this group. I really do.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I'm glad they
remember they've got a lot of stuff to compare to. I mean, Motorhead playing in Triple H. I mean, POD playing in Rey Mysterio. I mean, Limp Bizkit playing in The Undertaker. I mean, all of that stuff. Ozzy Osbourne, Kid Rock, Motley Crue. Motley Crue created Test.
LT.
Yeah. My point is, though, that they've, even Joan Jett, when she played in Ronda Rousey, was way better.
Well, I was referencing, remember Rhea Ripley's entrance at Mania this year? That was one where I was like, well.
Yeah. And Poppy for NXT, pass. No thing. Maybe it's the acoustics in the CWC. I don't know.
I was going to say, from NXT, if they do bring Aleister Black back and bring back his old music, when Code Orange.
See, I saw that one. I liked that one.
Oh, that was good. Okay, I digress. Anyways,
we could digress all day on this. Right. I mean, Jim Johnston playing in Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans.
We can make a whole episode just solely on music entrances and our thoughts. Perhaps the next holiday we can, get one on standby here. Me, you, and Matthew just talking about
here's the promo for it. Are you ready? Next week on a special PWR Today, we go in depth on wrestling, music, and what the hell we think about it. Next week on PWR Today.
Get that ready, Meathead.
We're gonna have to put one in the can, and I don't mean that in a weird way. Let's talk main event. Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole 2. This was a knock him down, drag him out, just fight. I had the feeling that it was going to be Adam Cole because I think they're going to set themselves up for a third match, possibly at a takeover around SummerSlam.
Yeah, definitely agree on that. This time there wasn't a stipulation or a specialty type match, just ground and pound and one upping one another in this match. A great brawl, and come up with Adam Cole getting on top this time. And just as you said, I think this does set up O'Reilly Cole 3, which I look very much forward to if that does take place.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well.
Takeover SummerSlam, but this is good. It still leaves us wanting more. We got that match.
Yeah, I'm not done with this feud. I'm not done.
We got Stand and Deliver. That was what was it? It was
Anything it was NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver.
Right. I think it was Anything Goes. I just remember O'Reilly getting the chance.
I think it was a lights out match. No, not lights out. It might have been an unsanctioned.
Or yeah. So that was cool for that match. We just gotta. I can't even talk. I was gonna say typical regular staple wrestling match last night, and then we will see what the next one will be. Perhaps it's a loser leaves NXT because that sets up.
Cole possibly coming up, or Riley coming up to the main roster.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's NXT. I want to really quickly touch. I know you and I talked about it yesterday morning a little bit. I thought I'd be talking with Matthew today. Matthew out on assignment, but let's talk tonight. The first AEW show on the road outside of Jacksonville since the pandemic. Road Rager tonight in Miami, Florida. They have got a big card set up. Here's some of the matches that we're going to get. Cody Rhodes taking on QT Marshall in a South Beach strap match. We've also got the Inner Circle, which will feature Jake Hager and Santana Ortiz. On their side, Conan against Wardlow and FTR with Tully Blanchard. The in-ring debut in AEW of Andrade El Idolo against Matt Sydal, and I probably pronounced his last name wrong, not Sydal's. El Idolo, yeah. I'm going to get that one eventually. And I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm just getting it wrong. Jericho and MJF have a face-to-face standoff again for some reason. And a tag match between Chris Statlander and Orange Cassidy versus the Bunny and the Blade. Orange Cassidy last week, Wednesday, you guys saw the picture I sent to you. That's a face only a mama can love because he got knocked the F out with her brass knuckles.
Yeah, I think it's time for Orange Cassidy to get his orange punch in this time. But I'm definitely looking forward to another face-off Jericho MJF. I mean, gosh, they just face-to-face. I want to hear the insults. I want to hear how they'll one-up one another just verbally. I mean, you can't go wrong with the two of them face-to-face.
I believe there's also a tag team match for the tag team championships. The Young Bucks taking on Eddie Kingston and I can never say his name right either.
Penta Miedo?
Yep, Penta El Zero Miedo. There you go.
Miedo.
Yeah, see, I can get that one right. I'm going to have to work on Andrade's one. Obviously, you can tell, folks, I am not naturally Spanish speaking. So, yeah, we've got a big night of wrestling action. We will be back tomorrow morning. We will talk AEW Dynamite's first time outside of Daly's Place in Jacksonville and whatever else comes down the pipeline. So, for Linda Kay, the man they call Meathead, hey, thanks for stopping by. So long, everyone.